Hello and welcome back to the Right Within podcast. I'm your host, Michaela, the Conscious Queen, and in today's episode, I'm going to be discussing how to attract a soulmate, how to attract a loving, healthy relationship, okay, from a spiritual perspective, right? So, first, I would like to preface by saying that, um, you have to be your own soulmate first. And I know you heard this plenty of times, and I've said this plenty of times. In order to attract someone who cares about you, who loves you, who is going to understand you, not just on an ego level, but on a spiritual level, you have to first be this person for yourself. You have to first show up for yourself and love yourself in that way. Because if you don't, it's going to be very hard to attract your soulmate because you're neglecting your soul, right? So that's the first step to attracting a loving, healthy relationship soulmate, right? Is by first being your own soulmate, right? Being your own boyfriend or being your own girlfriend, being your own husband, being your own wife, right? Just until the universe is ready to bring that person into your life, right? So that's the first step on attracting a soulmate, a healthy relationship. The second thing about attracting a soulmate, your soulmate, is you gotta stop looking for this person, okay? And I know it sounds like, what do you mean? But I'm looking for my soulmate. I'm gonna tell you something about the energy of desperation. So, whenever you are desperate for something, whenever you are begging and pleading God, pleading the universe, pleading for something, usually you don't get what you ask for, or you get something that is not good for you, right? So, yeah, I feel like that's why when it comes to wanting a partner, wanting a relationship, you should just kind of have a very nonchalant attitude about it. You know, I think that's being desperate for anything, not just a partner or a relationship, but being desperate for anything pushes it away from you, right? Like, this is why so many people are in toxic relationships because they're so desperate to be with someone. But the person that you really just want to be with is you. You want to be with yourself first. If you can't be with yourself, you cannot be with someone else, right? So I would say get really comfortable being in your singleness, okay? Like, when you're single, you have a bunch of freedom. You can do what you want, you can go where you want. You don't have to tell anybody where you're going or what you're doing, right? It's a beautiful energy to be in. So, do not feel pressure from society, from family, from friends, from whatever, from movies, whatever, to be in a relationship if it is not your timing, right? So the timing of the universe, that is what's going to determine when you meet your soulmate, right? So the only thing that you can do is first be your own soulmate, right? Be your own best friend, be your own boyfriend, okay? You know that song Miley Cyrus, like, buy yourself flowers, okay? And the reason why I say this is because you have to cultivate that love within yourself first, okay? And don't be desperate, okay? I really advise everybody to not settle. Like, just don't. Like, just don't settle for less than what you know you deserve. Like, just because this person is like giving you attention, but you don't actually like them, don't go out with them. You know what I'm saying? Don't waste their time, but don't waste your time. If you don't like them, just don't entertain them. There have been so many situations that I've been in where, there will be a guy who present himself to me and I'm not attracted to him whatsoever, right? And I just tell him straight up, I'm like, hey, you know what? Like, no, I don't want to, no. you know? And it's not being mean. It's actually telling the universe, telling God, hey, you know what? Like I don't want to be with someone that I don't like. I want to be with someone that I like. I want to be with someone that I admire. I want to be with someone that admires me, right? And so I feel like when you're not desperate, you invite that energy in. You invite that energy of I am worthy and I deserve love, and I deserve to be with someone that I think is attractive, and I'm not settling for someone that I don't want to be with, right? So, yeah, and I know it can be difficult sometimes because we see other people in relationships and they're like, oh, they have it. Why don't I have it? Type of thing. But you just gotta be super chill about it. Like when you're attracting a soulmate, you gotta be super calm. You gotta be like, hey, you know what, universe? This is what I'm asking for. Um, I like to live by this rule of if it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, that's also fine too, right? Like, if I'm single, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with being single, okay? There's nothing wrong with being by yourself. If it happens, that's pretty cool too. Hey, now I have, someone else that I can do all my cool stuff with. So you kind of have to be okay with both realities, right? Not being too overly desperate to be in a relationship, because you'll attract something that is not at your vibration. Okay, so you're gonna attract something that's not favorable to you, versus if you just do your thing and you love yourself and be your own person and be your own soulmate first. It kind of feels like when you meet that person, they'll feel like, oh, okay, wow, like wow, okay, this is pretty cool, right? Like, because you accept yourself and you love yourself, so it's like, okay, wow, like this is actually fun, right? So those are a few things. I always talk about something else when attracting a soulmate. What else should I say? um yeah, I would say, if you want to attract a soulmate, like a person, I would say start acting as if that person is already in your life. Okay, so this is a manifestation technique, and some people might think you're crazy. So what? Who cares? Um, but start acting like your soulmate has already entered your life, whether you know them or you don't know them. Just start being, right, that person, right? So let's say, for example, in your mind, you and your soulmate go to the park and you guys take a nice long walk in the park and chit chat and laugh and all that stuff. So go to the park. You know what I'm saying? Go to the park and, maybe listen to some music and like really appreciate the scenery and just be fine being by yourself, right? Because then you're kind of telling the universe, okay, I am open to this energy of someone else, right? I'm open to this energy of another person that I can enjoy my time with. Just by you simply doing that activity, it opens up doors, right? It allows the universe, God, to kind of, you know, get you in that vibration of being with your soulmate, right? Simply by you doing actions that you would do if you had a soulmate, right? So another thing you may want to do, like if you want to, if you and your soulmate, you want to go shopping together, um, just go shopping. Go take yourself shopping, have a good time, smile, be like, laugh, just enjoy yourself, right? Because if you are with your soulmate, you wouldn't want to be like miserable with them. No, you would want to be laughing with them and having a good time and sharing stories and things like that. You don't have to do all that in public if you don't want to. I mean, if you're brave, you can. Just have those conversations with yourself in public. I'm not so brave, just being honest. But But I'm just saying, like when you go out, just have this sense of like, like, yes, I am enjoying myself. I'm going to the shops, I'm having a good time. Or even going to the movies. Go to the movies by yourself, get popcorn, right? Sit there, have a good time, laugh, and just kind of allow the universe to create that other person, right? Not create them because, they're already born, they're already a person. But I'm saying create that space in your life for them just by simply doing those activities that you would do if you had a soulmate. And this goes for not just romantic soulmates, but also platonic, right? So if you want to have friends, like let's say you don't have friends, or you want new friends, this also works for that as well, right? Because some soulmates of me, they're not always romantic or sexual, right? Some of them are your friends, some of them are maybe animals, right? So yeah, this also works too, just kind of allowing yourself to live, to have fun, do things that make you happy, and invite that sense of peace into your life, because that's ultimately the type of relationship that you want to attract, right? You don't want to be desperate because that attracts toxic relationship. Okay, you want to appreciate yourself just like how you would want someone to appreciate you, and be okay with being by yourself. I feel like there's so much power in just accepting that you are by yourself, if you're single. I would say for the people who want to attract like a new soulmate, like somebody new, I would say just keep doing the principles that I talked about in this podcast. That helps. And also I would say do some inner self work. So some self concept work would really help as well, because we can't attract someone else, and we can't ask the universe for like other things and people if we don't even know what we want for ourselves, right? So I would say like get clear on your goals, and kind of ask the universe like, where do you think they would be? Like where would my soulmate kind of be? And just kind of allow yourself to imagine where this person would even be, right? So like if you like to work out, your soulmate might be, I don't know, at the gym. Like if you like to work out, they might be at the gym, or they might be, doing something physical, right? So maybe you go to these places, right? If you are into jazz music, you like jazz, or whatever, like if you have a hobby, if you like pottery, maybe your soulmate is at a pottery class, just waiting for you. So like yeah, that ties into what I said earlier about just doing things that make you happy, because you never know who you're gonna meet just by putting yourself out there and having fun by yourself, right? So that's another way to attract a soulmate, a really healthy, loving relationship. um yeah, and what else? Oh, I would say this. I feel like it's good to um I guess keep things like personal, right? Like I know like there's nothing wrong with sharing your person on social media. It's just that sometimes it's nice to have personal relationships, right? Where, nobody really knows what's going on in your relationship. And it's just between you and the higher power, you and God, or you and the universe, right? So I feel like that's also important too, when you're attracting a soulmate. You can tell people what you're interested in or what you like in a soulmate, or you can just keep, like I said, keep it between you and the universe, because I'm telling you, like I'm telling you, miracles happen, and like You just gotta stay positive and just continue to love yourself and treat yourself like how you would want someone to treat you. So that's it for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. In next week's episode, we're gonna be talking about lucid dreaming. I've been having some very cool dreams. So next week's episode, we're gonna be talking about how to have some sort of control in your dreams and how to lucid dream. So tune in. Stay right within.